Welcome to my home. Come on in. We're shooting today with Toque Magazine, and we thought this might be a nice opportunity to show you around. We've recently renovated the house, and I'd love to show you some before and afters. My husband and I moved in about 7 years ago. We loved our home right away, but there were changes we wanted to make. It's a 1950s house. It was very boxed in, a little closed off. And so we renovated the main floor, opened it right up, took down some walls, changed up our fireplace. And I'll also show you the dining room and the kitchen that we renovated.
So do you think you could tell me a little bit about your decor style, especially for the living room?
Absolutely. I'm a pretty casual person. I like to be very comfortable. I want people to be comfortable in my home. So I'm hoping things feel cozy and approachable. I have a 6-year-old, 2 dogs, and of course my husband here too. So we all like to hang out in here. This is my sanctuary too when I unwind at the end of the day. I love to just kick on the fireplace, light some candles, and relax.
Your fireplace is beautiful, and I love the element of some vintage personal pieces mixed in with some new pieces as well.
I think the old and new together is definitely a part of my style as well. I like to collect things. I like things with history, and green is my favorite color. So as you'll see throughout, that's definitely a thread from the tile work on the fireplace. I like to collect antique green glass and the banquette painted a dark navy green.
That's a really cool bar. What's the story behind this piece?
Well, this has been in my husband's family for a long time. The story goes that his grandfather won it in a poker game when he was in the Navy. So it started out on a ship, and then it's been passed down. So it was in, I guess, my father-in-law's family home growing up. We recently had it refinished by a local artist.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's got this beautiful walnut shelf.
That's gorgeous. So unique.
I do like to have some vintage flair in the house for sure.
This is definitely a statement piece of the home, it looks like, with all the art.
Oh, thank you. This used to be very closed off. The dining room was just a little box. We opened up the walls and put it in a banquette, which I think is my favorite part of the renovation. I always loved a banquette. There's something about a classic TV sitcom, I feel like, that has banquettes. And I love when the family's over or my son and all of his friends are lined up, and it's nice and cozy.
I love your collection of art on the wall behind the banquette there.
Thank you. It's actually all family art. So we have some talented artists in the family. So my husband's grandfather has painted a couple pieces. My mom, fellow shop owner Joanne, has some pieces. And then the rest, you could probably guess, is my son. My 6-year-old has made lots of art here. And so I'm hoping this evolves and grows over the years. Welcome to my kitchen. We were pretty excited to design and get a brand new kitchen. It has certainly changed a lot. My husband is a chef and I love to cook. So we were pretty thrilled to get a nice new space to do that.
It's beautiful. Can you tell me what the biggest change in the renovation was in your home?
Well, the size. The kitchen was a lot smaller and it was very closed in, and it was the original dark wood cabinets from the 50s. It just felt very dingy, and we completely opened it up, moved everything around, moved the stove, and got this peninsula.
So what's the favorite area in your home if you had to pick?
Right here. I love standing here at the island, cooking, entertaining, or my son is sitting here in the morning having a cereal and I can look out the living room window, the fireplace, just kind of take it all in.
Looks like the center of the home for sure.
Absolutely.
I love that you can see everything from that angle. I love your coffee bar area here.
Thank you. It's definitely a very functional part of the house. When we were designing what to do here, we had a very narrow counter space to work with, but we incorporated a tiny microwave, the cookbook nook. That was taken right from Pinterest. And we have an old art of home piece, of course. Some old art of home shoppers might remember this piece from a few years ago.
So speaking of art of home pieces, what are some of your favorite art of home pieces in your decor collection?
Oh gosh, I probably have so much that I've collected over the years. My newest favorite piece is the cutting board, the teak house cutting board. I have an old vintage art of home piece too, back when we carried vintage. This bowl is a favorite of mine. Speaking of favorites, the Audubon Blue Heron is definitely tops the list of my favorite art of home pieces in the house. I was thrilled to find somewhere to put it. It is definitely one of the best things that we're stocking at the store right now.
I love how big it is. It really works in that wall and it ties everything together with the colors in your home.
Thank you.
So beautiful.
It's not a large space, so I was worried that the large print would be overwhelming, but I find it works. A couple of personal touches in the home that I really like to have. I have a little framed recipe, my grandmother's recipe for tortilla. I shamefully have never made it, but it makes me very happy to have this here. I also made one for my sister and my mom, which they have in their kitchens. And I have an old piece here that I grew up with, my parents had, our Bert and Ernie stool, our stepping stool. You can tell I was a child in the 80s. My son uses this now to help do some prep work in the kitchen. This makes me happy to have those personal things. And in the living room, we have, from my husband's side of the family, this old chest, which we use as a coffee table. This was a piece of his mom's, and it has a lot of history. You can see there's paint, and I think there's old maybe nail polish on here.
Thank you so much for giving me a little tour of your main floor. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you, absolutely. It was lovely to show you around, but I think you gotta go because Tube Magazine is on the way.
Okay, thanks again,
See
Laura.
ya.
See ya.
Bye.